I basically gave Ben an ultimatum, even though Ben's my soulmate, he's the love of my life. And I had to do that because I love my husband so much, but I love myself too. And I knew that I didn't want to see my husband go down a path where he could have lost everything. I'm not just talking about the relationship he has with me, just himself and, you know, music and all of that.
Hello and welcome to Separate Bathrooms. We would like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of this land, and pay our respects to the elders both past and present. My name's Brahe-Daddo.
And I'm Elle.
How are you, honey?
Good.
Do you know what happens when you mix a psychic medium with a rock star?
No.
I don't either. How about we find out?
Oh, okay. This could be a journey.
It could be. Jackie Gillies is one of Australia's most sought-after psychic mediums. She's also an author, a businesswoman, a philanthropist, and a television personality.
Mm-hmm. She sold out 2 national Shine It Up tours, which captures her message of self-empowerment. She's an incredible lady, married to an incredible fella. Ben Gillies is her soulmate, musician husband, and is from Australia's rock royalty band Silverchair.
Ben, of course, was the drummer of Silverchair, has a newly released book, Love and Pain, the epic times and crooked lines of life inside and outside Silverchair. It's been incredibly well received by fans and readers alike. Co-written by Chris Joannou, the bass player. I, along with many fans, were perplexed that they just kind of fizzled out in the 2010s. And the book now gives context and some insight into why it all went south.
Mm-hmm. Look, there's plenty of things to talk to them about, so let's get them in the bathroom. Please welcome Ben and Jackie.
It is a separate bathroom today. We're all in different locations.
That's all right. As long as we're in a bathroom together metaphorically, then it's okay.
Exactly.
It's all good. We are a relationship podcast, as you know. You guys, now, did you meet during Silverchair days or was it before that?
No, we met during Silverchair days, but it was also school days. So what had happened is Murmur, who was the label that Silverchair was signed to, funded a TAFE course to be part of, I guess, our Year 12 syllabus. And we didn't run it. The TAFE ran it, and local schools from the region could have students apply to be part of that course. And Jackie tried out, and she was in that course. And she loves me revealing that in order for her to get into that course, she sang "Simply the Best" by Tina Turner.
Yeah, you
Yes.
did. Wow.
And on cue, she's going to do a little rendition for us now.
No, I'm not.
So it was some kind of course on music, obviously. That's why you guys were part of it?
Oh, yeah. It was a music industry skills course. So we,
okay.
it kind of, you went into like how to run festivals, and there was like some songwriting stuff. And it was a bit of a cheat way for us that we could keep doing our studies while on the road.
Yeah, nice. Smart.
But also like it was also a nice way to give back to the Newcastle community as well.
Yeah. That's essentially what the course was about, or how it was sold to me. And I'm a manifestor in life, and I believe that things happen in your life for reasons, right? And when I was doing music, my music teacher actually came up to me and said, I think you should apply for this course. And what this course is, so nobody knew that Silverchair were literally paying for this course. It was all we knew, or all I knew, was that you learn about all the different facets of the music industry. And she goes, I think this would be really good for you, Jackie. So off I went, sang Simply the Best. Got into this course, and I think there was only about 12 people that were actually accepted into this course. And it was just really it was for the Hunter region. So many people applied, and I got in, and 2 weeks in, because nobody knew that Silverchair were giving back to the community and giving people the experience to be able to try and get themselves in the music industry themselves. And then 2 weeks in, I think they just came off the back of a tour of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And when they rolled in, obviously I knew who Silverchair was, but I was like, what the hell? Like, oh my God, why are these guys here? And then we had learned that these guys literally had paid for the course to be able to give back to, to some people. So that's essentially how I met Ben. I was around 14 and a half, maybe. Yeah.
How old were you, Ben?
Ben would have been about 15. And I have to say, Ben was really, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on here, but he was like the smart ass. He'd always be at the back with Daniel laughing about the most dumbest shit. And I used to think, what are you laughing at? Like, seriously, I'd like look back and they'd just be hysterically laughing all the time.
Probably something really funny.
Yeah, like farts.
Because they're teenage boys. They laugh at everything, don't they?
Yeah.
Jackie,
No, but it was always this. I was like going, "Oh my God!" Like I just couldn't understand it. And maybe the way Ben explains it, I was like the Croatian chick that was like, confident, and I just thought, "Oh yeah, whatever, boys." Like, okay, I know who you are. Let's just get going. But Ben was, I think I was trying to secretly get my attention.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Jackie was also was into like R&B and hip hop. So she wasn't like a rock or grunge girl. So she was a little bit just not impressed by the whole thing,
And then it wasn't until like how many years later that you guys officially started dating? That was like quite a few years later, right? And did you remember each other from that TAFE course?
Well, what was crazy, it's not crazy actually. I'm I don't know if you know much about my background, but I'm actually a psychic medium and I'm a manifestor, and I've been doing vision board many years. And I literally came out of a toxic relationship, and I said to the universe, I'm not going to date another man again until I have all these things. And then I lived in my purpose. I started doing psychic medium readings and became quite recognised in New South Wales for being a psychic medium before I joined the Real Housewives of Melbourne. And I really always lean into listening to my intuition. And it was about 4 years in where I'm, always still every day manifesting the type of love that I wanted. And I knew that I didn't want anything that I had the last time. And I put all these things on my vision board, and I would constantly like lean into that energy of the type of relationship that I wanted. One day, a girl that I hadn't spoken to in 5 years had rung me and said, I'm having this party like a housewarming party in Bondi. Come. And I thought, I've kind of released those types of people out of my life, like, the party and all of that. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to come. I went down the street, and I just finished a day of doing psychic medium readings. Went down the street, bought myself a bottle of red wine, and I literally went to pour myself a glass, and something in my mind said, do not pour that glass, go to this party. Off I drive down to this party, call my girlfriend and said, I'm going to pick you up on the way, and we're going to go to this party in Bondi. So I rolled in, and about maybe 40 minutes later, Ben rolls in with two guys, and two of the guys came to me for psychic medium readings and industry, and they're like, "Oh my God, everything you told me is true, man. You're freaky." And then I look, and there's Ben. Ben looked at me, I looked at him, and Ben goes, "You're Jackie," and I'm like, "You're Ben." And Ben said, "I recognise you can go on now." How this all unfolded, Ben?
Well, I didn't remember your name at first, but I did remember Jackie. But I actually remembered her walk, kind of similar how like John Cleese does the walks in Monty Python. She doesn't walk like that, but it's I guess the point is people have recognizable walks.
Okay, glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's got a very distinguished walk.
He
You
does.
always know it's a Kevin Bacon walk, and Jack has one too. I get it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he was going to the Ivy, and Ben at that time, being the rock star he is, was, hanging out with all these Shirelles. I called them Shirelles, all these chicks. And I
don't know what she's talking about.
he goes, "Can I get your phone number?" And I said, "No, you can get my psychic number because I know what you want and you're not going to get it." So off I take him to a hotel. He met up with this chick, and I looked over and I just kind of laughed. Anyway, I drove back home.
God, this story's going on and on. Jackie.
No, I want to know how it all came together very quickly.
Are you going to keep going beyond this story?
Yeah, I am. So anyway, I had a drink, and I rung Ben the next day, and he was in the recording studio over at Chris Joanne's home at the time. And we dreamt exactly the same dream. We hung out as best friends for a year. And I'd always say that I'm going to be married by the time I'm 30. 29 and a half, I had no boyfriend. And then Ben kissed me for the first time. 2 days later, he proposed with a particular diamond that was on a manifestation board. And we got married the day before I was 30.
Get out.
Well done, Ben. Well played.
I love it.
Real man, it's real.
Then here we are, 14 long years later.
Yes.
What's the most surprising thing that you've learnt about each other since you've been dating? Is there a surprising thing?
Hey, so 2 days later, he proposed after the first kiss, and then we got married within 2 months. So
okay, look, let's just talk in general terms, Jackie. Look, it's perfectly fine. We can figure this out. I would say, even though Jackie is like a bit of a tough nut, she's a tough Croatian woman. She's actually like inside she's still, she's still a bit of a cuddly bear.
Nice.
I love you. What have I learned about Ben? I think surprisingly, for everything that Ben has achieved, he's the most humble, generous, really, and I really mean this, down-to-earth human being that I really have ever met that has achieved the type of success he has and has stayed so grounded. And well, literally, if somebody asks for his help, and not a lot of people will do this in the industry, Ben will try and make phone calls, and I'm talking about for complete strangers, and try and help those people. And that, to me, brings tears to my eyes because that is what I believe we're all here to do, to help one another. And Ben does it with such grace and truth, and that really inspires me.
Thanks, darling.
Oh,
True.
that's beautiful. Ben, were you a believer in psychic manifestations before you met Jackie?
Yeah, I would consider myself a believer. I'd been to a few psychics before I met Jackie. I don't know. I guess, I just feel like there's something bigger than, life on planet Earth. Like, who knows what happens when you kick the bucket? Like, and that's my personal thing, like no one really knows what happens when you kick the bucket. But I just feel like that, I don't know, we just don't dissolve into nothing. Well, that's what I hope. That's what I really hope that maybe we do. But I guess we'll find out at some stage.
Yeah, that's for sure. We all end up finding out what's on the other side. Just don't get to talk about it very much.
That's right. And I do think that's where the psychic thing comes in. They've just got that ability to be able to, tap into maybe something beyond our five senses. But I think that the readings that I have had in the past, I don't take them as gospel. I take them as like guidance. You don't want to take them as like as gospel. But I think I'm a believer.
Yeah, fantastic.
So you're both participating in this season's Amazing Race. Is your life not exciting enough? Is that why you're doing it?
No, look, our lives, we do live a relatively exciting life, I think. Particularly now that we have twin baby boys, that's definitely kind of notched up the excitement level. Some may say the stress levels as well. I think I've pushed out more grey hairs in the last 2 years than I did for the 40 years before that. But yeah, look, I think when the opportunity came up for the Amazing Race, it's just one of those opportunities that it's hard to say no to. Like it's just chasing unique experiences. Like it's something that you don't have that opportunity to do every day, and being in a TV production bubble as well. Like if you surrender to that, there's something really freeing about that. Like they take your phones and they take everything, and like all you need to worry about is what you're doing on that day. Like you don't have access to emails or texts or calls or anything. All you have to worry about is the moment. And there was something really lovely about that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It certainly keeps you present.
Yeah. Wouldn't you agree, Jackie?
Yeah. There you go, babe. Absolutely. I think that particular show, it is about living in the moment and being absolutely present. And I think that we, especially new parents or even parents in general, we do forget that. And sometimes you need to remember, right, that I believe, this is my belief system, is that when you take time out for yourself or with your partner, I think you're a better lover, you're a better mother, you're a better everything. And I think having that space away, even though I miss my boys like crazy, Ben and I really didn't or haven't had the opportunity to be able to just be present with one another in the moment.
Yeah.
And that type of show is really, they're the stuff you chase in life, man, because a lot of people never get to experience to do a show like that or be in those experiences. And so I'm very grateful that Ben and I did it together.
Well, actually, no, that's a good point. That thinking about that, like say if you have a disagreement at home, as you know, most couples do, you don't agree on everything. You might battle it out and see who comes up victor. It's generally not me. It's always generally Jackie. But
I'm with you.
Yeah, when you're on The Amazing Race, it really does have this way of, I mean, Beau always said like no way would he do it with his partner because like we'd end up splitting up. But I kind of, our experience was that you're forced to work together, and we may have bickered a little bit during the course of the show, but it does bring you closer together because you have to work together on the challenges and to move forward, and you've got a common goal.
Yeah. It's truly the quintessential form of teamwork, isn't it? Because if you're not a team, you're lost and you're walking in circles, and you're definitely not going to get to Beau very quickly if you're not working together.
It's almost a type of therapy, actually.
Well, you know what? If you say that, if you actually, like Ben's and I think a lot of males are very competitive. I'm not saying females are, but ideally what I've seen within that environment is that Ben's like so good at many challenges. Sometimes I felt like he held him back, but the dynamics of Ben, where Ben is really quite detail orientated, and I'm the type of chick that's like, let's get moving, let's get going, and and I don't like faffing. And I'm not saying Ben's a faffer, but he takes his time, he's very precise, and actually because of that, we won quite a few challenges, as in we not won them, but we're in the top 5 or 6, and sometimes that's an advantage to have that type of personality. Whereas for me, sometimes I think, God, I think I've held you back because I'm not as detail orientated as Ben.
Cam and I have often had moments when we've talked about, could we do the Amazing Race? And often we've thought, no.
No, because I think we're a bit like you guys. Yeah. Elle is the detailed one, and I'm a bit more of a swiper. Yep. I don't swipe right and left, but I'm a bit more broad stroked, and I am a bit more action. Whereas Elle, like you, Ben, you got to be precise. You're a drummer, so you got to keep it in the pocket. Elle's a bit the same, that. So I think we could do it. It just what did you learn about each other doing the Amazing Race?
What I learned was that sometimes I need to literally, and I actually teach this, is really be more present, because in life, as a mother or somebody that has businesses or you're working and whatever it is you're doing, you're constantly sometimes in life chasing your tail, and you just don't stop for a second. And so for me, it became very apparent that even with Ben, that we should be doing that more, because Ben's a person that loads himself up with a lot of jobs. So say, for example, he might not do something for 3 months, and then all of a sudden he's doing Amazing Race, he's doing a book tour, he's writing music, he's doing the South by Southwest, he's got to lay down a melodic track for this or for that. So there's like 20 things going in at one time, and then it becomes overwhelming, and then you forget what life's about. Life is really about being present with your children or being present with whatever it is you're doing, and just living in the moment. And I think so many of us forget to do that.
Yeah.
Well said. How about you, Ben? Did you learn anything new about Jax?
I actually thought I did. I think maybe I was slightly concerned going into the race about Jackie kind of having those kind of, just washing over things sometimes. But
Right.
I guess I think Jackie did, we were forced to kind of slow down, and even forced Jackie to slow down. And even in moments when she was like, I want to rush through this, I want to get this done. It's like, no, you can't. You have to stop. You have to think, and you have to consider whatever it is that you're doing next, in order, for a challenge, or it is a big game. It's so it was Jackie. It forced her to do that, and she did it really well. She was able to kind of take it back a gear and slow down a bit, which I thought was really good of her to be able to do that.
Did you two have any funny or frightening moments that you can share about the Amazing Race, or are you not allowed to sort of mention too many details at this point?
For me, frightening moments, 100%. And I think there's something, it might be a mental health situation going on, but I'm deathly scared of heights and closed spaces. And Ben definitely likes to punch it when you're on a jet ski, or laugh at me when I'm like, slow down, like slow down, and he won't. He just keeps punching it straight down the beach on the jet ski to get to the boat. And then when you see me scream as I'm behind the boat, I was told, this is just, it's not that high. And they try to get the harnesses on, and I kept saying, no, I can't do this. No, man, do not go. And Ben's like, go. And then all of a sudden when I'm saying don't go, they're like, bang, we're gone. And I was just, that was a moment for me.
What about you, Ben? Clearly you're not, well, you like a bit of a thrill then. Were there scary moments or frightening, funny moments during the process?
To be honest, one of the scariest moments was literally on the first day in India.
Oh, yeah.
When we were the very first challenge, within 20 minutes of starting this race, we were in this really busy, hot market, and I just remember seeing all of the kind of infrastructure in Australia is underground, right? Cabling and everything's above ground. There was monkeys running around. It was just madness, but it was more the heat. And Jackie started to get heat exhaustion within 20 minutes of us starting the race. So that was kind of stressful, because part of me was like, come on, Jax, just bloody stop whinging and whining and get up and get moving. But the other part of me was like, oh, no, I need to, this is a real thing. I can't push Jackie, because, if she gets genuine heat exhaustion, that can be dangerous, right?
Yeah. Well, old mate Grant got it, didn't he? Daniel got it.
Yeah, that's it. So Grant got it. And yeah, I guess maybe it's something that some people, I didn't, the heat didn't really bother me at all. I was okay with it. But I guess for some people, we were you drink 2 liters of water, or you drink 3 liters of water during the day, and you wouldn't go to the bathroom because you're sweating so much. But yeah, that was scary.
It was actually. I actually felt like when the medics saw me, they go, how do you feel? And I said, dude, it's like you've haven't slept for 3 days and you're out of your body. I couldn't even explain it. I was literally feeling like I was out of my body, and they were like, you need to sit down. And then I don't think they didn't show this part of it, but I literally collapsed on when we got to the end, and Ben carried me through with the bags and stuff. So we got there and we didn't get eliminated, but I was laying down for a good 45 minutes, and I have to say that that was actually, I forgot about that, babe. That was genuinely scary. And heat exhaustion is a real thing, because Grant was really affected by it. You just didn't see the severity of it.
Okay, let's leave the Amazing Race. Can we talk about your book, Ben?
Yes, of course.
It's called Love and Pain, The Epic Times and Crooked Lines of life inside and outside Silverchair, co-written with your bandmate Chris. How's it being received?
It's been incredible, actually. Yeah, people are really enjoying it. I think Chris and I, when we first started writing the book, you know, we both wanted to celebrate the band and write about all the incredible experience that Daniel, Chris, and I all shared together. And also, you know, and also Chris recognized really early on during the process that he and I have a 40-year friendship that has endured, you know, a lot of ups and downs. And, you know, I think we met when we were like 3 years old, and we lived 40 meters from each other, and we were born 3 weeks apart from each other. So there was a really special story there as well. And then we both had our different kind of health issues. I've had some mental health stuff and alcoholism that I talk about in the book, and Chris has had some pretty serious health stuff that he's had to battle, you know, that a lot of people will be hearing about for the first time. But look, it's interesting. You know, I've never written a book before. I've been part of, you know, writing and recording a lot of records. And you always have that feeling of like, how is it going to be received, and will people like it? So I definitely had those same feelings when the book was coming out. But yeah, now that it's out there and people seem to be really loving it, and it's, you know, I think some people may have had a certain expectation of what it might be, but once they read it, they realize like it really is leaning into love and, you know, celebration. You know, you could almost put pain in brackets, but, you know, it was also very important to Chris and I to acknowledge some of the challenging moments and some of the tough stuff along the way. But yeah, look, it's been great. It's been great to reconnect with so many fans. Like I think the fans have really enjoyed getting a bit of a glimpse behind the mystique or the veil, you know, and just seeing how getting a glimpse into how the band really ticks. Because ultimately, there's only 3 people on the planet that knows what it's like to be in Silverchair. Like people can have their opinions from articles that they read or even the book, you know, but the only 3 people that truly know is Chris and Daniel and I. And but it's been a cathartic process, and I've really enjoyed it. I've really, really enjoyed it.
That's so good.
Jackie, did you learn things about Ben after reading the book?
Yeah. Look, I think the biggest thing, it's really interesting because Ben told you I was always into R&B hip hop, so I was never really into rock music, didn't go to rock festivals or anything like that. And this will lead into the question you have asked, but the first time that I saw them headline group in I cried. Like literally I cried. Luke Steele from Empire of the Sun was kind of sitting behind me. I was sitting sitting beside me whilst I was playing, and everybody was just staring in awe. And when I cried, I realized, like, fuck me, this is why they've been put on this earth. The way they played and the magic and the energy, when you get those goosebumps and you feel it. And I thought to myself, and the millions, because it really is millions of fans out there that they have helped, even like within the book, like Ben used to get letters where people would say, you actually helped me through depression to my lowest point, and your songs had helped me. And I actually had no idea, even after reading the book, still to the extent of the people that these guys play to. Obviously, I knew they played to 30,000 people, but 250,000, 50,000, well sold out, you know, tours. And I even had no idea that Ben heavily wrote some of the hits in the first 2 records, but he's so humble, he never talks about it. And I'm like, I've got people coming to me going, you know, Ben co-wrote Tomorrow, or he co-wrote Pure Massacre and things like that, but he never talks about that. And I'm like going, how come you never told me that you wrote these songs? Because he's so humble, right, about what he does. And the biggest thing that I also learned is that throughout all the success that they've achieved again is that Chris and Ben are so down to earth. And you can see that just in Ben's energy now. If that was me, look, I'd be like, dude, do you know where I'm playing? I look what I've experienced. But I've really learned that Ben's always been very thankful to the fans. And that's the one thing that I really appreciate as a person that's not just with him and his partner, but just as a human being. Like, Ben he's always said, the reason I have the ability to have the life that I have and keep writing music is because of those fans. He's never once forgotten that. And I think also that one of Ben's biggest sadness about the ending of how it ended is he always said to me, and goosebumps thinking about this, and get teary, is that he goes, those fans deserve us to give them a goodbye, and we couldn't even do that. And that really, I believe, hurt Ben. Really, I do.
Ben, do you agree?
There's probably more layers to it than that. But there's definitely, I do feel like, our fans deserved more. I think Chris and Daniel and I deserved more for each other. But, something we've been talking about a lot during the tour and while we've been doing press is, that maybe, we're of a certain generation that didn't have the tools to communicate very well, and I, three guys from Newey just, coming from working class backgrounds, we just weren't very good at talking about our feelings. But it's very layered. The whole story, like, the whole thing, how the band broke up, but Is
it just on a selfish level, because I am a fan of the Silverchair catalogue? Is it a case of never say never in terms of, is there ever a possibility? I mean, like, the Police got together years later. Would that be something that you could look towards down the road?
Look, I wouldn't want to put any expectations around it. Right. I always look at it like the way you feel now is always different to how you might feel in 5 or 10 years, or, and I've always kind of held out some hope that maybe one day, at a very base level, that the three of us can just have some kind of mutual respect, or, like, I don't know, maybe just be able to sit in a room together and reminisce on some of the incredible stuff that we did together, just as a starting point. I don't know. Look, at the moment, I think we're all doing different things, and life goes on, like, Chris moved up to to Coffs Harbour. He's kind of working up there. He's got his family. He's really happy. Jackie and I just always have several projects on the move. We're always busy, and and our boys keep us very damn busy as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think Ben will ever, me just cutting in, I don't think Ben will ever stop playing music, because that's what he does. And if it's not with Silverchair, Ben's always writing for or playing with other musicians, and it's ingrained in him. When you have a purpose, and that's what it is that feeds your soul and your passion, how can you ever stop playing? Do you know what I mean? However that looks.
Yeah.
I think at the core of Silverchair, like, that's why we were successful, because ultimately we were just three mates jamming, making music that we absolutely loved, and we loved doing it together. And that's what I always tried to hold on to when the band became successful and there were more outside influences. Really tried to make sure that, wherever possible, to make sure that it was just the three of us, like, at the core, because that's that was the thing that powered the band, you know. When the three of us came together and played music, that's when we unlocked that Silverchair magic.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Ben, you've been so honest and vulnerable talking about, you know, your mental health challenges and your anxiety. And firstly, I want to say thank you for that, because the more men that talk about their mental health issues, I think the better it is, not only for men, but for women as well. So thank you for doing that. How significant a challenge was that for you, and how did you overcome that as a couple?
It was definitely a significant challenge overcoming anxiety. And I don't think everyone's journey is different. For me, it's an ongoing kind of management.
Yeah.
But I guess as I've gotten older and more comfortable with it, I think as you get older, you just really stop caring what people think.
Yeah.
Maybe when I was, 20 and, I started having some issues. Again, it's just you didn't have the tools. You know, you're from Newey, like you can't say that something's wrong, or particularly I always describe it like mental health. Like, say if you get a big cut on your arm or down your leg and you got a huge open wound and it's bleeding, and like that's really easy to look at that and understand that, you know, okay, you've got a problem, we've got to take you to hospital and get you stitched up, you know. But if you say, hey, I've got these thoughts in my mind and it's actually making me feel this particular way, and it's not a very nice feeling, that's harder for people that haven't experienced to understand how that might feel.
Yeah.
But it's like the wound on your leg. It's still something that needs to be addressed and something that needs to be managed. And I have felt that over time, like talking about it and being really open about it, like the amount of people that have come up to me at the book tours and just said to me quietly, like, thank you, because I've been having my own, struggles, or I've had my own journey. And it just, that was one of the reasons I've been so open about it, like on the Australian Story that we did recently and in the book as well, because I figured that, for one, Chris and I wanted to be completely raw and open and honest overall, but I just knew that talking about that stuff and just being full Monty and just so incredibly honest and open about it, that it would connect with people and just hopefully make some people feel like, it's okay, I'm not alone. It doesn't matter if you've been in this incredibly successful band or had these incredibly successful have experiences. Like it doesn't how do you describe it? Like it doesn't matter where you're from or what you've got. It doesn't discriminate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't discriminate. Like it can affect anyone and everybody. And so that's kind of, I think it's a human thing, right? We look to relate to each other, and then when we do, that's like when you just, ultimately that's all we've got is each other. Take all the money and take everything away. Like the thing, all that you've got left is each other. And the important relationships in your life. So on a human level, just to be able to connect with someone, and even if they read the book and I never meet them in my life, but they get something out of it, like I think that's pretty cool.
For me, with Ben, when he was talking about his anxiety and the psychotic, I think, what was it, Ben? Like it was from the drug induced from marijuana smoking. You speak about, and you spoke about the Australian Story. For me, Ben and I, probably the toughest part, and Ben did openly speak about this, is Ben's an alcoholic and he speaks about that very openly. And for me, when I started seeing that he was hiding bottles, as a wife, you have an intuition, right? And you just know something's not quite right. And I basically gave Ben an ultimatum, even though Ben's my soulmate, he's the love of my life. And I had to do that because I love my husband so much, but I love myself too. And I knew that if I enabled or continued to be in a situation or a relationship where it's catered by alcohol, it wouldn't last anyway. And I didn't want to see my husband go down a path where he could have lost everything. I'm not just talking about the relationship he has with me, just himself and, you know, music and all of that. And when Ben took ownership and responsibility for that, the next day he basically went cold turkey and he gave up. And that, to me, it's not just a miracle, and it's not an easy feat, man. Like anybody that struggles with addiction, it's hard. It's hard. And
and it hasn't been the perfect road either. I've had a couple little bumps in the road, but
that's okay.
You also you don't let them kind of ruin all the good work that you've done. But that as well, you know, it's funny. I've had last night in Melbourne. Again, people would just come up to and whisper in my ear like, "Hey, man, I've been 4 years sober," or whatever it was. And it's just that that relatability and like, you know, I think the more people speak about how, you know, the struggles they're having with substances or mental health, or, you know, if they're struggling in a relationship or whatever it is, the more people talk and are open about it, you know, I don't know, it just makes you feel better.
Well, it does, and it's also if you can, I can too.
100%.
Yes.
You know, it's just being you while you're walking your path, and we all have bumps in our road to living better. That's human, and as you said, Jackie, that's okay. And it's that thing I know as a young actor and young musician, I saw people ahead of me and went, if they can do it, I can do it. You know, I do that with IKEA furniture. If someone can build IKEA furniture, I can too. So, you know, but thank you for being so honest and brave, both of you. We'd love to talk to you for longer. We can't get to everything we want to get
Ben's
to
got
today.
a lot more people to talk to as well.
Yeah, clearly. We do a 2-minute shower. Will you do that? Will you hop in the shower with us?
Oh, yeah. Do we get nude?
Yeah.
Only if we get
Absolutely.
nude.
Yeah.
Only.
Naked in your thoughts, mate. There
Naked.
you go.
Okay,
But
great.
answers are short, like one word if possible, but obviously you can't always be one word. So
All right.
short as possible.
First question. What's the quirkiest or most endearing habit you've discovered about each other?
Jackie loves foot massages.
Ben likes looking at his chubby little chipolata toes.
What?
Okay.
All right.
That makes no sense.
That makes sense to me.
What
That's all funny.
the world needs more of is
Love.
Oh, I mean, that's the go-to, isn't it?
Love and peace.
Trees.
Trees. Okay.
Ooh.
What does your perfect day look like?
Oh, God, getting a massage and laying and doing absolutely nothing, watching Netflix and eating chips and chocolate.
Easy.
Are you sure about that?
Oh,
Okay, Ben, sorry, I interrupted.
that's all right. No, perfect day would be, we're in the shower, aren't we? So it's got to be quick. Wake up, give my babies a cuddle and a kiss, and my wife a cuddle and a kiss.
Oh, you make me feel bad.
And then go to the beach with my family, hang out, have like a beautiful lunch with them, and then go and spend the afternoon in a park with them, and then go and write some music and play a gig in the evening.
Yes. Love in the morning, rock in the afternoon. I love it.
Yeah.
Is there one moment you would like to revisit in your life?
Marrying Ben again.
Hmm.
You're just trying for redemption after after my perfect day. I'd love to go back and play Rock and Rio again.
Awesome.
One word to describe each other.
Amazing.
Fire. Jackie is fire.
Yes.
That could mean anything, Jackie. It could mean you're hot. It could mean you're on fire. Like it could mean you're fiery. Like it just ticks all the boxes.
Love it.
Sure does. You guys tick all the boxes. Thank you so much for being with us today, Ben and Jackie.
Thank you for having us. And by the way, you two are doing, you two are really inspiring a lot of people. And the one thing I've always heard from, just doing what you do is if you can inspire one person in your life, you're doing your job. And you guys are definitely doing that by being open and receptive to hearing other people's stories so other people will learn from it.
Oh, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know you two are busy and you've got babies to go back to and everything and the book to keep promoting. So we're so honoured to have you on the show. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Oh my gosh, there was so much juicy stuff in there and so much more I wanted to talk to them about, but maybe we'll have to get them back in for part two.
We didn't get to housewives.
Yes.
And I mean, certainly the Amazing Race and the book. I mean, the book, Ben's book.
Yes, their lives have been really full and interesting.
Yeah. And also their parents of little kids.
Yeah. Jackie went through quite a big IVF challenge to have her twin boys, and that's always an amazing experience to have too. So,
All right.
but what a lovely couple.
A lovely couple.
Yeah.
Well, there's more with Ben and Jackie, so we'll get to that another time.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks for joining us in the bathroom.
Thanks for listening. Bye.